Hi, Dr. Martin for KRAZ TV. That's right, keep real, A to Z, true vision. Oh, what a sweet bird. That's a picture of a tree swallow. It's called White Feathers, The Nesting Lives of the Tree Swallows by Bernd Heinrich. Now, I think I did another book report a long time ago about this particular scientist, and he was checking on flyways, and he actually got in his car down in the southern part of the United States and went all the way up through Canada following these migrations and doing counts and see where they went to and stuff like this. But this one he picked up, he has a cabin or a study spot in northern Maine, and every year the tree swallows come by. So it's a cute little book. It is let's see whose press makes this. It's Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, and it's Bernd Heinrich. There's his picture. Is an acclaimed scientist and the author of numerous books, including Mind of the Raven, The Homing Instinct, Life Everlasting. Among his many honors is the 2013 PEN New England Award in Nonfiction for Life Everlasting. One early spring day, Bernd Heinrich is sparked by a question. Why does a pair of swallows in a nest box close to his main cabin show an unvarying preference for white feathers not easily available nearby to line their nests? So this guy actually figured out or pretty much figured it out, or postulated he did years of this. Now this guy is meticulous. He notices that the extreme aggressiveness of his swallows than some other ones of their own kind. He wonders, given swallows' reputation for feistiness, as at the ordinary tameness and close contact he experiences. In other words, he can hold a feather out, and that little bluebird, it's got a blue and with a white crest, and it's a gorgeous bird, will come down and take the feathers out of his hand eventually. So he sits outside the nest. He said it was horrible some days with the black flies and all of that. And I said, well, why didn't he get a bug cover and all that? And he said, well, I would, but sometimes I miss stuff that way. So. But he gets way up before dawn because he can hear them cheeping, And they do have different calls and all that. And it's just a wonderful book. There's some pictures. Now he tried putting some eggs in there, but they hardly ever do 6 eggs. They do 5, but they can't have too little, and if they have too much, it's disastrous. They feed voraciously the babies all the time. There's a picture of one taking a feather out of his hand. But there's the gorgeous little creature. Look at those eyes on that thing. And it's a short-billed insectivore, but in the south, in the very end, after the nesting, he does talk about going down into New Orleans and down in those areas where they are on the flyways and live on barberries. There's little babies. Now, they are blind for a while, but I'll tell you what, they're so fast. Now, they are a solitary bird. I mean, as far as they don't nest with the other ones. And he had like 8 nests around in a clearing. But once one took over, and he took over the prime spot that he wanted for him and his mate, that no other birds, he'd chase them all off. But he didn't mind if chickadees and other birds used the other nest. But in that area, there's only one set of tree swallows that, claim that area for their own. So they would run out, grab bees or other bugs and insects flying on the wing. So I guess it's I got to get back to why there's feathers now. The reason why the feathers are there, they won't put the feathers in until the nest is built. They build them out of grass inside the little boxes, but they don't nest to each other. So like I said, they're solitary families. And they close the feather up over it so that it actually, see, it's like this. You can't even see the bottom of it, so they disguise the eggs underneath. When a mother bird happens to look into the nest, it sees a covering of white feathers, and that hides or disguises in a way, when you just look in, the eggs. So he thinks that's the reason why they do it. But they use stiff feathers and they use soft feathers, but they don't use feathers to line the nest. They don't use the white feathers for that. But they will take it and play with it. And he said they'll fly up hundreds of meters, of this 300-400 feet up in the air, and they're only a small bird. So he said it's hard to see them, but they'll drop the feather and they'll start circling down, and they'll zip through the air and grab it, hold on to it, and take it up or let it go again. And they'll get up so high that they release it, and the feather will fly down through the air, and they'll grab it out of midair. And sometimes he'll let it go, and the female will grab it. The female will go around and let the feather drop, and then she'll catch it in midair. And I think it's a display of how well they can grab things out of the air also. So it's a hunting strategy to show to the other one, hey, I'm good at grabbing stuff out of the air, because that's where they grab their insects on the wings, see. So that's basically why they like feather. Now, he said they will take some black feathers and other ones, but it's very sparsely, and never more than white feathers. And if you got white feathers, they'll take the white over anything else. But they do occasionally use gray and all of that. So see, there's the nest that's been covered up with feathers. So it's kind of but the male will sit occasionally. He doesn't do much, but he does not build the nest. He encourages the female and to put the grass up. So it's a fascinating book about it, but he has great descriptors in here about other birds. So he's talking about ovenbirds and warblers and who's in the area that day, and raptors. Now this bird will go after merlins. Merlin is a tiny hawk. It's a like a fast little raptor, and it'll get in the nest and it'll eat and it'll kill these type of birds. But when these guys are mating, they're very attentive to their nest. You know, they're very they keep a good sharp eye out, and so somebody's always guarding the nest or blocking the hole so other birds won't get in. And if another set of swallows comes by, they'll talk. Now sometimes the male will go off and do extra pair mating and stuff like that, but not normally. Now they said the maximum years that he's seen a swallow live is 12 years, but they average about 5 years. So sadly, in a few years, he has seen, well, they'll come back to the nest if they can make it. And the male comes first, and it's just a few days later. But it's a sharp regimen. When she lays, it takes 5 days to lay 5 eggs, and then she incubates, and then they start feeding. And then once the feeding's done, they stop feeding the little ones, and the little ones get up out of the hole and are crying, feed me, feed me. But they taunt them, and they say, come on out, you're going to get something. Or they go up and try to false feed them or give them a tidbit, and where they just, once they fledge, so they got feathers and they can fly, but they have to build up the fat reserves, because when they get out, it's going to be a little bit of a time before they learn to hunt on their own and catch stuff. But the parents do take care of them, and they usually mate for life, or as long as he's seen them, they've been together. But they get the little birds to come out, and they fly off, and then she'll wait on the wing till they all get out of there. Some of the last ones have to be coached an extra day or something. Other birds do sometimes get in there, and some of them die, the chickens and the chicks, so they have to throw them out of the nest sometimes. I don't think, like storks sometimes, if they know that there's a something got to be called, they'll kill it. And some of them will feed the meat to the babies, but this is not the case with tree swallows. But it's a wonderful story. And, well, liking birds, what's not like? What's not to like about a cute little rascal like this, huh? Anyways, I'm just rambling on now, but get the book like we did. We got this at the Tucson Pima County Public Library. And yes, we have at KRAZ-TV eBird from Cornell University, where you can go on. And remember, Christmas Day Count is coming up for the Audubon. Thank you, and keep watching KRAZ-TV.